What's happening, everyone? This is John of Video Games and the World. Martin Scorsese is an acclaimed film director who has won multiple awards such as an Academy Award, 4 BAFTA Awards, 3 Emmy Awards, a Grammy Award, 3 Golden Globes, and 2 Directors Guild of America Awards. Wow. That's a lot of achievements right there. He has directed 25 feature films, and my favorites of these movies he directed are Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino, Gangs of New York, The Aviator, The Departed, and The Wolf of Wall Street. All of them are great movies with so much awesome acting, directing, and writing. What's really cool is that his movies depict the mafia in a very realistic way rather than glorify them. Many would say that The Godfather is the greatest gangster film of all time. Speaking of the Godfather trilogy, the first movie was great. Part 2 was the best. But Part 3, it was mediocre. Although I must say that the Godfather trilogy is a gangster film, it's only based in a book by Mario Puzo and depicts the mafia as one of respect and honor. But movies like Goodfellas and Casino show the mafia accurately, since the real mafia was not about respect and honor, as depicted in The Godfather. The real mafia was more about extortion, intimidation, and fear. And to think that gangster movies like The Public Enemy, The Godfather Trilogy, Scarface, Goodfellas, and Casino would serve as inspiration for shows like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. But enough of that, we have to get on. Martin Scorsese has made it no secret that he is not too fond of superhero films. In 2019, Scorsese was asked a question about Marvel movies during an interview to Empire magazine in England. He said that he tried watching a few of them and they were not for him. That they're more like theme parks more than cinema. He does not think that Marvel and DC films are cinema. Well, I gotta say that comparing them to theme parks, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, it has a lot of fun moments that you might feel like you're in a theme park. But still, I like those movies. Many people, of course, took those words as insulting and interpret them as if Scorsese has a hatred for Marvel and DC movies. In an interview with GQ magazine, Scorsese expressed that we have to save movies from franchise culture. And by franchise culture, he obviously means the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC movies as well, because he believes that franchise culture represents a danger to our culture. In this interview, Scorsese said the following: "There are going to be generations now that think movies are only those, that's what movies are." He said, with the interviewer continuing, that they may already believe that. They already think that, he agreed, which means that we have to then fight back stronger, and it's got to come from the grassroots level. It's got to come from the filmmakers themselves, and you'll have, the Safdie brothers, and you have Chris Nolan, you know what I mean? And hit him from all sides. Hit him from all sides and don't give up. Let's see what you got, he continued. Go out there and do it. Go reinvent. Don't complain about it, but it's true because we've got to save cinema. That's really funny how he mentions Christopher Nolan, since he, of course, directed the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, you know what I mean? I love that trilogy, and to me, The Dark Knight is the best. Nolan has also directed movies such as Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, and his recently acclaimed film, Oppenheimer. And guess what? They were great movies. He also compared franchise culture to AI making a film. Wow. He stirred up quite the debate since 2019 when he said that Marvel movies were in cinema, yet the likes of James Gunn and Kevin Feige pushed back by calling his criticism awful cynical, yet Gunn himself agreed with Scorsese in some ways. And that's what I like. Agree to disagree. And disagree to agree. Because in certain topics, sometimes it's better to agree on something and disagree while disagreeing on certain things. Like, I prefer to find, middle ground on certain topics and things, Now, I gotta say that there have been, indeed, way too many superhero films since the 2010s. But there have been also lots of them since before the MCU. When in 2000 there was a renaissance of the superhero genre after the success of the 1998 film Blade, saving Marvel from bankruptcy. If it wasn't for Blade, we would never have had an MCU in the first place. And there have been superhero movies before the MCU. The Superman movie series with Christopher Reeve, Batman movies like Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin, which was horrendous. Now, MCU brought Hollywood and Disney a lot of money. The first 3 phases of the MCU were phenomenal, no doubt about that. But phase 4 of the MCU, well, I have mixed feelings of it. Because there were many things I didn't like and found terrible, boring, corny, and mediocre, like Eternals, Thor Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, etc. What I liked of phase 4, though, were Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, Ms. Marvel, Far From Home, No Way Home, Wakanda Forever, Multiverse of Madness, etc. I also have to say that although the MCU and DCU brought a lot of people together, there are way too many superhero films and a lot of people are getting tired of them, while others are still enjoying them because they hold onto that tiny bit of hope that they can do better. Recently, the most watched films right now are the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Barbie, and Oppenheimer. Last year, the most watched film was Top Gun Maverick, sequel to the 1986 film Top Gun, which is one of my top favorite movies of all time. Cinema has changed. Some movies, not just superhero movies, were great. Others were passable, but many were horrendous. And about what Scorsese calls franchise culture, there have been franchises over the years that were not superhero films, such as King Kong, Godzilla, James Bond 007 movies, Planet of the Apes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Rocky, Star Wars, Alien, Star Trek films, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Back to the Future, Terminator, Rambo, Predator, and so many more. Some of the movies of these franchises were phenomenal. Others were either boring or they just simply sucked. Big time. Some of these movies remain classics while others lost their spark. And I am sure that the mixed feelings people are having with the 4th phase of the MCU, it's not going to be long before it loses a spark, even if there is a 5th phase. And to think that while DC was not doing good in movies, at least it was thriving in animated films, animated series, and TV series like the Arrowverse, Titans, Doom Patrol, Watchmen, and Peacemaker. Now, if we really want to save cinema, then Hollywood needs to make some changes, like stop focusing so much on live-action reboots of animated classics and making too many reboots of old-school movies as well. Not all reboots are bad, but many of them are. So what do you think about the words of Martin Scorsese? Comment, share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. I am John of Video Games and the World. Have a good one. Later.